This is a script for Amazon Studios. Remember when Amazon just used to sell groceries and books?
When they only sold books.
Books, yeah. And now they got a studio releasing movies. Now they bring movies right to your home. And if you don't go to the theater to see them first, because now they are a competitive studio out there with everybody else. We'll bring everything to your house except for our movies. Some of them, but occasionally you got to come see us.
Sure.
If you want your first run feature film.
You're fired. You're fired.
You must be McCreary.
Oh, wow.
You're fired. Sit down, please.
There's hardly any trash in it at all. Oh, it's kind of comfortable, better than a chair.
And got this one over here by Mindy Kaling. You know, she actually wrote the script for this late night. There she is as Molly right there. Thing that gets me with Mindy Kaling, man. I'm always a little peculiar about watching Mindy Kaling movies because Mindy Kaling ain't never been with no brown dude, I think. Think about it, man. When she had the Mindy Project and everything.
Actually, when she was on The Office, one of her boyfriends was black.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, because wasn't her brother black at one time?
What?
Yes. You didn't know this?
What are you talking about?
Mindy Kaling's brother went undercover as a black dude so he could get affirmative action.
Is this a movie or in real life?
She should have wrote that script. Her brother, you got to read this sometime. This happened years ago.
Okay.
Her brother was busted, or he wasn't even busted. He came right out and said, yes, I benefited from affirmative action. I went to school on a scholarship. And now that I've had my way paid for, I want to let everybody know that affirmative action is bullshit. He said, I was just doing a test. I was just being undercover. And people like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that didn't prove anything.
That don't prove shit, except you got a free ride.
Yeah.
By looking like a Negro right there. He got, shaved his head. I even think he cut his eyelashes. There it is. I'm not kidding with you, man. Everybody thought he was Gary Coleman. Yeah, he went undercover as some black dude, man, and got some money and then came back out and said, see, I told you it was unfair. And it's like, you just benefited from this shit, man.
Well, also, it's like, you can't say, you're brown. You're still brown.
And yeah, you still, yeah. I don't know what the he was doing. That's another story for another day. I hope we see it on screen sometime. But in this movie right here, we got Molly. Molly loves comedy. And Molly wants nothing more but to work with her idol, who was a late night talk show host played by Emma Thompson. But thing is, Molly works at a factory and ain't got no comedy background or entertainment background whatsoever. But wouldn't you know it, she enters a contest at work that somehow is linked to being able to lead to working on a late night talk show. And when she gets there, she's there just in time because they need a little bit of color on the staff. Everybody's a white male in there. The jokes are starting to become stale. The boss is actually a tyrant around there and scaring everybody. Can Molly come in, played by Mindy Kaling, and stir up everything a little bit by adding a different viewpoint, some variety, and maybe somehow getting the host herself to calm down a little bit by showing that she does truly have a heart, Martin, because Molly is that goddamn lovable. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Late Night from Amazon Studios, and we'll be back with our reviews.
I feel like I could never hail a cab.
Let's see what we can do about that.
I actually didn't need to go anywhere.
That doesn't matter. This is how white saviors work. Into the cab.
That's some slave shit, putting them in the car like that. You see that?
And normally they can't get the cab.
And then when they don't need one, they make them get one anyway. Get your black ass.
Molly is...
She said that I reminded her of a younger her.
Me.
I mean,
Cast is really good in this.
They are.
I really enjoyed the cast in this. This is why you get great actors.
I was just going to say that.
Man.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about how you really can't sell a movie unless you have a name actor. And a lot of people think that is, that's so shallow. People just need to see somebody on a poster or they just need to see a name. Yeah, they do, because then they know that these people can act. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you get some material, because with this, it's very important to get great actors, especially in comedy. Because with this, I can't tell if any of this stuff is good, really. I can't tell if the dialogue is that good. I don't know how the story is, but I will tell you that the actors here, they know how to sell it. Because I think that this is written like just an okay sitcom at best.
It's funny because I really enjoyed, I had a good time watching this movie. And I laughed out loud several times in it. But if I take a step back, I go, there's nothing special about it. It's not original. It's so much like something you would see on television, like the caliber of, you know, what's on the page, or even like the story points. You know, it always feels like not just familiar, but too familiar. Like it goes in this path that you go like, yeah, that's how these things go, and this happens, and this is based on that, and this is exaggeration of that, and this would never happen, but it's convenient for the story. But it's these actors who really just can take this material, who have comic timing, who can be charming, and make you have a good time with it.
Yeah, it's the actors that are doing this, because this is a typical, I would even say, just okay to mediocre work sitcom.
Yeah.
Not, you know, it's like The Office, except
if somebody said, all right, we're not making a series, just boil it down to a movie.
Yeah, it's like The Office, except not as good. There are some names in here. Look, Emma Thompson, you know, Mindy Kaling, you know, and maybe you know some of these other folks in here, but some of my biggest laughs came from some of the character actors in this. You know, the side actors that are in here, like Dennis O'Hare, man.
Yeah.
People like Dennis who? See, you don't know. You say, that's Dennis. I've seen that guy somewhere.
Yeah, you've seen it.
You know,
plus he's on American Horror Story.
He's on American Horror Story, yeah. But is he huge? No, he's a character actor. He's a constantly working, very good character actor. Yeah. And I got to tell you, man, I don't think that like he doesn't have some of the best lines in the movie. He doesn't have a huge part. But I'd be damned, man. Every time he was on screen, just his sarcasm and just the way he just reacted to things, because I could relate to the way he reacted to some of these things. Like, I was reacting more to the movie than I was to the actual people in the film. But the way that he was reacting to things, I was kind of reacting. And like I said, his timing with the lines, which those are this is dialogue that's written for people who the dialogue's not great. It's written for people who can make something out of it.
Yeah.
So you went to our parents' parent company?
I do a little stand-up.
Where?
If you have a problem, ask a chemist. She'll always have the solution.
Like, you see
that look on his face.
Because even, you know what made it funny? Because right before they cut to that scene with him, back to him, I had that same look on my face too. Like, what the, really? People thought that shit was funny? So people actually, your work laughed at this.
And I'm actually emceeing a benefit in the city pretty soon. It's kind of cool.
Cancer isn't funny. A night of comedy in support of lung cancer. Jesus Christ.
Just the way he ran those lines together. You know, comedy is about, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck this. Jesus, what the fuck is this chick?
But I gotta do it, so.
Of course, your main actors, your stars there, I mean, you could just tell from the trailer that they're getting along very well. Emma Thompson and Mindy Kaling, they're naturals together.
Sure.
I don't know if they knew each other before. I don't know if they just clicked and hung out before they shot this, but they are very good together here. Very natural.
Emma Thompson, she's been in the game for a long time.
She's pro. Oh, pro at this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she's probably so good that she just made somebody like Mindy Kaling feel at ease, which, look, she's been in the game for a little while too. It ain't like she's new to any of this.
Oh, I know.
But this is her script. This is her material.
Yeah. No, it's her material. I'm saying Emma Thompson's been around like when Mindy Kaling was a child.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny how this started out in such a way where it looked like it was going to be a clone of The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
And then it pivoted and went a way that was like, hey, let's make this actually more fun.
That is right. This really was. I didn't even think about that. It really is like the Devil Wears Prada.
With Dennis O'Hare as the Stanley Tucci character.
Yes, to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain
The
extent.
setup might be more like that.
Right.
Which again doesn't speak for the originality of this
I know.
thing here. But
I mean, it's probably how it was pitched.
Yeah.
And
I got to tell you, man, there was just some things in here that they did. You know me, man. I'll tell you, it's the small things that make me laugh. The things that just come out of nowhere. The things that don't seem like they were written, or things that you didn't expect. I don't know if Mindy Kaling wrote any of this, or this stuff was started on the spot. But like I said, man, just there were things that would just happen out of nowhere that just made me laugh.
Tread softly because you tread on my dream.
Ooh, bitch.
Okay, all right.
I like my man right here. He's even like, they must have caught him off guard. He's like, God damn. They just
no, not even going to apologize.
That man back there, he's shocked. He's like, man, I don't give a shit about anybody in this city. Then he went over there and spit on her.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah. And what I love about it is that, like, normally I would say that's not real, but that just looking at garbage, man, not even giving a like, he didn't even apologize. Man, get the out the way.
Okay, all right.
Shit, I'm trying to do my job, and you over here praying the signs and shit.
That's a harsh town right there.
It really is. Shit, they don't treat you like garbage. You are garbage. Move.
In New York, you walk and do not stop for nothing.
Oh, not at all. I love these guys. They both like.
I know.
They said, I bet that bitch learn next time. Oh, she even shocked Woody Allen right there. But, I think this movie's been getting a lot of favorable reviews, and I can just tell that people are going to love this. Some of the critics out there are going to love this because I think that it hits a lot of social cues.
It does.
That people really root for right now. Like watching this, you see this because it's a lot of people going to love that. It's a strong brown woman tackling the all white male working environment, led by another strong woman, which is Emma Thompson here. Even to what you're saying, even if things are not only predictable, but I mean, people are playing, even though the actors are good, they're playing pretty much stereotypical roles.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, when you mentioned the Devil Wears Prada, Meryl Streep did that role so great. But I mean, this is nothing new. The boss.
Tough boss.
What's that?
The tough boss.
The tough boss. The boss is almost borderline just evil. Like she runs her place like she's a slave master, and she's a tyrant. And everybody, of course, they fear her.
If I may, I just want to say it is such an honor to meet you, Miss Newberry.
When my parents got divorced, this
I don't know who any of you are.
blew it.
I don't know who any of them are.
Yeah, man. Everybody was okay until he opened his mouth.
Yeah, you say your name and thank you and let the next person have a turn. He's about to go into his life story.
Yeah.
It's like you just killed it for the rest of us.
I mean, she might be a tough bitch, but you can't blame her for saying, I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
Nobody want to hear. I don't even know you. How long you been working here?
How's your baby?
She's 27. Her baby's doing well. She's just started preschool. She's,
Never mind. I don't want to know.
Why are these people trying to make small talk?
I know.
And I felt kind of, I didn't like her at first, but I'm like, okay, I get it.
No. In that scene, I felt for her. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of on her side. You're like, y'all know she hasn't come down here and talked to you. So
yeah.
This ain't the moment where she's going to get interested. Don't bull her with
Not
this.
one person going to be, shut the The person I love the most in this scene is the guy that didn't even get a number. Like, this dude was just an extra they threw in there to fill a scene.
Yeah, like he's some kind of intern. Well,
Yeah.
what cracked me up, something that's funny about this movie, not intentionally, I think it's actually bad, but she goes around and numbers the writers.
Yeah.
And there's 8 of them in the room, and throughout this movie, there's 4 of them who don't say a goddamn thing.
No, this dude is an extra, and he's...
There's 4 of them. I could pick them out every time they show up. I was
Yes.
like, y'all didn't even get a line.
You didn't get a line, and you know what? And it's so bad they didn't get a line. They forced to sit up there and just act with their eyes.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. I'm sorry. You talking about that dude with the striped shirt?
Yeah, no, I'm talking-
he's one of the 4 who just sits there.
Yeah,
He's up in the front.
And the thing is, this is a guy that like you should put in the back.
Right.
He's like, but if you gonna put him up in the front, I gotta do something. My mama watching this, So he's just acting with his eyes. Oh,
Yeah, but we saw you in that movie you were in. They didn't give you a lot to say, though.
Yeah, you were the dude with no number at the meeting. You were the dude with them big eyes. And had nothing to say. Funny thing is, y'all don't know that Hamburg actually had a line before he did. There's a lot of things here, mainly the cast, that almost lifts this above the material. Almost, for me. Like I said, I know people are giving this favorable reviews, and I enjoyed it. It's not like I didn't like this. I was like you. I was in there laughing at some things. There's some really good lines they pop off with in here. I even think they do a little bit of ad-libbing in some parts where it works. And there's some and while the story, the story dialogue isn't working, some of the one-on-one stuff works pretty well. Yeah. But I gotta tell you, man, it is just so goddamn predictable.
Yeah,
formulaic would be the better word.
More so that it wasn't like I was sitting there going like, okay, this is gonna happen next, this is gonna happen next. But formulaic in that, all right, you have this happening, and this I've seen this in these movies.
Yeah,
and this is where we have the romance, but will it? Because something's not going to work. And this is where, okay, she blew up, but she's going to come around again later.
Yeah,
and honestly, there's parts of it. I won't even say the bones, but underneath there's a structure of all about how hard it is for women working in this late night environment. And these writers' environments. And if you read stuff from Cast of Saturday Night Live, they'll talk about this, about how tough it is. And it's actually tough for everybody, the men and the women, but especially the women, just new getting your stuff on there. But a lot of that gets muddled because from different subplots. Like there's a subplot with Emma Thompson and her husband, John Lithgow, and I was like, this did not need to be here.
Man, let me tell you.
I mean, y'all finally try to use it for a plot point, but an important plot point, but in the real world, that would have been blown off.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. This whole thing with John Lithgow, I was like, damn. I'll save it. I'll get to that in a little bit because that's one of the things that really bugged me in this. I see when you say you didn't predict things. I predicted this thing almost beat for beat throughout the whole thing. Watching this, it was like, because they have all the things you've seen in these kind of movies before, like the non-qualified person who gets hired at the last minute because they need somebody right now.
Yes.
And you just happen to be here. And then they even have the same line you see all the time. Can you start today? Then they have that, the whole thing of flopping on stage, only to, at that moment, right then be like, wait a minute. I should just be myself. and then all of a sudden you start snapping these jokes and the jokes not even that funny.
They're not.
But before with people just like, oh, all of a sudden at these mediocre jokes are like,
and let me tell you something. I've been to little, rinky-dink events, and if a celebrity shows up, the audience goes nuts for whatever they say.
Yeah.
No matter how unfunny it is. So what they were doing here, I was like, that's some bullshit right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be so happy to have her just there.
Yeah. Oh, well, when she first came out.
Yeah. When the way they were acting like, this shit ain't funny. Shit.
Yeah, they have a moment in here. It's just this one actually to me one of the worst scenes in the movie. Like when she comes out and people she tells one joke and people would laugh at that joke, but she tells one joke and people are like, oh, she doesn't know modern things. Ooh, and then she does that mummy joke in there, which is even then I didn't think that was all that funny. You heard it in the trailer right here.
Yeah. I have some jokes for the monologue.
Tom Cruise is the same age as me. He gets to fight the mummy. I am the mummy.
I'm like, it ain't that funny, man. Yeah. Come on. The people are losing, and that was the big turnaround right there.
But when she joked about Twitter, they're all like, man, I like Twitter. Why she talking about Twitter?
Yeah. And
that shit ain't funny. I was tweeting right before she got on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, she turned everybody out. It's like, even I thought like, okay, that's not that bad.
No.
None of this is that good, but that ain't that bad. And of course she is the tyrannical boss that, everybody hates, everybody fears, but somehow she learns to be human again because of the new hire that changes everything.
Well, you talk about those predictable tropes, that one that's like, you know what? I need a a new outsider like you with a voice that's gonna kick me in the ass and get me to see things from a different way.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
and it's like, because of you, I see life new again. And I was like, okay, I knew this was going to go from the beginning. And it's not that I don't mind things being that predictable, but man, you know, it's playing it right down to the formula. Also, the other thing that I thought was funny in here was again how they try to manipulate things by writing them bad on purpose. This is funny to me. Ike Barinholtz. He was the frat humor comedian whose jokes are written intentionally bad for the movie, so that you can root against him. And the jokes, I mean, even for writing bad jokes, man, it's like nobody's gonna become that famous,
right,
for telling jokes like that. Seriously, here's the joke from the movie. He's like, you ever go to somebody's house and they take you to take off your shoes, and you're like, you know what? I want to take off my shoes. In fact, people, I want you to do this. Next time they tell you to take your shoes off, you go to their closet and you shit in one of their shoes. And the crowd are like, ah! And I'm like, nobody would ever get to his level telling jokes like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it, they wrote it that bad. And the only thing that's funny about it is that they wrote it that bad intentionally because they want to with Dane Cook.
I know.
Because he even looks like Dane Cook, man. And I was like, man, Dane Cook ain't with anybody, man. I know people don't like Dane Cook, but he ain't made no movies for a while. He ain't bothering no one. Y'all just
we don't know what he said to Mindy Kaling back in the day.
Maybe. Do you know what that is true?
Maybe she's been holding a grudge for a long time.
I still feel like it's one of those things where it's down to a formula where they're sticking to the formula where it's still cool to hate Dane Cook. And I'm like,
yeah, you know, he hasn't been all prominent out there, but what he did, that kind of comedy he did, spread, and I've seen other people do it, where they get up there and they're saying stuff and they're animated, but they go like, yeah, but what you said wasn't funny. That wasn't even a joke. There wasn't even a punchline there.
Yeah,
you just set up a scenario and then moved on to the next thing.
They just picking on him, man. And I think, you know what? I think even on Mad TV, I think Ike Barinholtz played.
Did he really?
Dane Cook, yeah. And he was doing exactly what you said. Because he was animated telling a non-joke. You ever been out and you've been like, wow, goddamn, I think I left the oven on. And people like, what the
Yeah. I was coming up and listening to Dane Cook or watching him, but the audience is laughing. He's like, and then you do this because you did that? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't even know anybody who's ever reacted that way. What are you talking about? And he's on to the next thing at that point. I'm like, what is supposed to be a punchline there somewhere?
You ever want to make a call and your phone ran out of batteries? I wasn't crazy about his comedy either, but he ain't even out there, man. You hit on a point that I'm glad you hit on, man, because I thought the same thing. John Lithgow, why was he in this movie? Were they filming in his house and he was just around?
I mean,
they just let him on.
Like they wanted her to have a husband who has an illness, so she has a softer side. But then it's almost like they want. It's like, well, we got John Lithgow. We can't have him just have that bit part. We got to write something for him too.
Yeah, put him in there for. This is what made me mad about this. They gave he has nothing to do. Like his character has nothing. Has no value to this movie at all. So they just gave him an illness so you could feel something for him. Because the whole thing with his illness, that goes nowhere. It's just there for you to feel sorry for him because he had nothing else going on.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man.
Well, even that whole thing that puts a conflict with, the two of them, I was like, that was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then the way they tried to build it into something for the climax, I'm like, is no one reading newspapers to know that when this happens, how quickly it blows over?
I like that they did one particular thing here. And before I say that, I want to end on a positive note. So I would say that you could tell, and I'm not going to hide this. I'm not going to try to leave you in suspense or anything. This is a high rental for me. I think it's good. I have fun with it. But I'm giving it a rental because, I mean, everything about this feels like a good streaming show. Mm-hmm. To me, it's even filmed like a streaming show. Like there's nothing
coming back.
Oh shit! She's coming back on. This is a high rental. She's coming back. I mean, it's a full price. But this is I'm not that it looks bad, but there's nothing spectacular about how it's even filmed.
No.
It feels, like I said, it feels like a streaming show that you would watch on Amazon. But I think the funny thing here is that there are shows that are streaming on Amazon that are actually story-wise better than this. This would just be something that just kind of, it's fun filler. It's a fun way to see actors that you like perform with each other. What I do like about this is that there is no romantic subplot here, because in the film, Mindy Kaling and Emma Thompson, I think, are sort of the romance here. I mean, I'm not saying they're lesbians or anything, but it's like they're this. You always see these workplace comedies where it's the two people fall in love and they at first they're at each other all the time, until they break each other down and realize that they really love each other, and that follows the same formula except that it's a friendship. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that there was no big romantic subplot here or even main plot. I enjoyed it. I think people enjoy it. Not enough to go beyond a high rental, but I for the people that are out there liking it, I see why. It just didn't impress me that much.
There's so much of what it's about that I like. But like I said, the lowest of low matinees, to where it was hanging on by a thread. And I don't know, talking with you about it, I might have to cross over to that high rental, in as much as it is an Amazon property. And I guess what put me at the low rental was I thought, you know what, even though it's not really a rom-com, it has everything that people who like romantic comedies would like. Yeah. And I feel like if you're somebody who really likes romantic comedies, it would be a matinee to you, a low matinee. But yeah, I guess for myself, it works better as something I would see on Amazon.
And you would enjoy it.
I would really enjoy and tell people, like, no, check it out. You look at the landscape of television now.
That's exactly what I'm saying. When I said they got better stuff on Amazon, better comedies.
You look at like it used to be, well, man, if you want to see somebody like Emma Thompson, you got to go to the theater. Yeah. But you turn on your TV now, you'll see people her caliber in shows all the time.
Yeah. So what are you giving this?
I'm gonna give it a high rental.
Okay. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And even for the people that are going to see it at the movies, don't think it's a waste of time.
No. And I laughed at it at this more than I have at some other comedies that have come out this year. Yeah.
Young Jake, well, come up and say what you found some fun facts.
I was just going to say most of this director's background is TV.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Such shows as, Mr. Robot, Shameless, Girls, Dear White People, Future Man, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah. Last Man on Earth, Black Monday.
Okay, so, I mean, you can kind of see where that quality is kind of still there with this. So that's interesting, man. Thank you. Thank you. Jake with the fun facts over there. Now you're doing your job there, man. Look at it.
Now those are fun facts.
Yeah. Put them glasses on. Look at him. He went right to work.
They make him smart.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you had fun. And if you did, keep the fun going. Hit that subscribe button and check out our main site, doubletoasted.com, where you'll find the long-form version of this video, uncensored, unedited, and also the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at dtmerch.com, and remember to always stay toasty.